Alrighty, ab gripping, why we don't want to do it and how it creates a dysfunctional breathing pattern in our bodies. So ab gripping, I'm going to show you an example because I used to be a really chronic ab gripper and I used to get a lot of tightness and pain underneath here. Okay, so ab gripping is a form of shallow breathing because we are tensing and restricting movement of our diaphragm and of our rib cage and of really everything. Okay, and it is using our external obliques, so it is pulling everything that way. So you might notice if you have a narrow rib cage angle, you might be an ab gripper. And you might also find that if you poke around underneath your rib cage, it might be sore. Okay, and that could be because you're an ab gripper. You might hold a lot of tension here as well, so if you're stressed, you might fall into a bit of ab gripping or just becoming tense all underneath here. So have a poke around. But something that I find really useful for ab gripping or narrow rib cage is skin rolling. So there is a video that I have on skin rolling or using silicone cups to release tension around the area to promote better movement pattern of the rib cage. Okay, so gripping is pulling down the ribs in the front. All right, so using the upper abs, I'm just going to show you. All right, can you see how everything bunches in and upwards, and that you can see here becomes really dominant. Okay, so ab gripping, nothing moves. Everything is stuck. There's no way my stomach or anything can move that way. So I'll show you side on. It's really dominant up here. It's actually quite painful now that I'm just practicing it because it's so, I can't believe I used to do that every day. And so it is quite common if you have a narrow rib cage that you might be an upper ab gripper. And so that's why it's important to learn these different breathing patterns, to do some of the skin rolling or the cupping, and to become stronger in our TAs and more mindful of how we're engaging, making sure we're not drawing our belly button in either, that we are engaging in the correct way. Okay, so gripping puts a lot of pressure down on our pelvic floor and also out on our diaphysis, and it's because of the internal pressure it creates. And so we don't want to have that sort of pressure, because who wants pelvic floor issues that they're going to have to spend ages fixing, or who wants to delay any sort of healing on their diaphysis if it's something simple that we can change through simple awareness and practicing better methods of breathing and engaging of our tummy. Okay, so instead of ab gripping, you're going to find these other videos moving forwards of what you can do, but see if it just corresponds with a narrow rib angle. So if you have a narrow rib angle and you're an ab gripper, I really want to know, because the more people tell me, it's going to be cool, like creating and collecting data. So pop below if you have a narrow rib angle and you're also an ab gripper. Now, if you do have a wide rib angle and you're an ab gripper, I also really want to know, because that's really interesting. So pop that below. Also, instead of upper ab gripping, we want to drop the ribs downwards without like gripping them down. So you'll see in one of the posture videos of realigning the bowls. So imagining that your rib cage is a bowl and your pelvis is a bowl. And when the bowls are balanced, you can create the same like effect on ribs downwards without bunching them up and affecting the movement of your diaphragm. And it's just going to optimize core function and pelvic floor function without placing too much pressure internally or stress downwards, just through optimizing posture.